In your 20s, you feel like you are standing on a stage with a massive spotlight shining right on you. You worry constantly that everyone is watching, judging, and waiting for you to make a mistake. In your 30s, you get a bit tired of hiding. You finally say, "I don't care if the spotlight is on me anymore. I am just going to do my thing anyway." In your 40s, you look up at the ceiling and finally laugh, because you realize there never was a spotlight. Everyone else was just standing in the dark, worrying about their own imaginary spotlights. You've been lied to, not by a person, not by a system, by a story you keep telling yourself, that success requires suffering, that wisdom only comes from years of scar tissue, that the shortcut is cheating. I'm here to tell you, the shortcut is the truth. You're busy, I know that. You've got 17 tabs open, a calendar that looks like a game of Tetris, and a list of books you've been meaning to read since 2019. You don't have time for a 3-hour interview or a 400-page bestseller. Neither do I, not today. But what if everything, every elite performance principle, every deep psychological insight, every tactical life strategy that the world's most successful people have quietly mastered, what if all of it could be compressed into the next 10 minutes? Not a summary, not a teaser, the actual blueprint, the cheat code. That's exactly what the next 10 minutes are. And it starts with the most uncomfortable truth I've heard all year. I went for a run this morning, 5 kilometers, just me and the pavement, and somewhere around the 3rd kilometer, a line from the Diary of a CEO stopped me mid-stride. Stephen Bartlett and Morgan Housel were unpacking a quote from the comedian Jimmy Carr, and it landed like a freight train. Carr said this: "In your 20s, you're consumed by what everyone thinks of you. In your 30s, you defiantly claim you don't care anymore. And in your 40s, you finally realize the liberating, devastating truth that nobody was ever thinking about you at all, because they were too busy worrying about themselves." Sit with that for a second. The thing you've been anxious about, the impression you were trying to manage, the status you were performing for, nobody was watching. Nobody was grading you. The audience you've been playing to your entire life, it was a ghost. Jimmy Carr, in 3 sentences, described the arc of human emotional maturity, and it's the spine of everything I want to give you today. Psychologists have a name for what Jimmy Carr was describing. It's called the spotlight effect. Our brains are wired to believe we are the central character in everyone else's story too. Because you are the star of your own film, you assume you occupy that same starring role in the minds of the people around you. You walk into a room with a coffee stain on your shirt, and you feel like the whole room noticed. They didn't. They were thinking about their own coffee stain. This is not a small insight. This is the architecture of chronic performance anxiety. Every bad decision driven by status seeking, every creative risk you didn't take because of what someone might think, every morning wasted performing for a crowd that doesn't exist, all of it traces back to the spotlight effect. Here is your micro-habit to begin unwinding it. I call it the invisible hour. Every single day, carve out 1 hour that is entirely yours. 0 audience, 0 performance, 0 approval seeking. Read what genuinely interests you. Build something no one will see yet. Exercise for the feeling, not the photo. Just 1 hour invisible to the world. The biological payoff is real. When you stop performing for a phantom crowd, your cortisol drops, your focus sharpens. The cognitive load of managing your imaginary reputation, which is enormous, gets redirected into actual output. Your energy compounds. That 1 hour of invisibility becomes the most productive hour of your day. Morgan Housel has a line that I think about constantly. True wealth is what you don't see. Think about that against the backdrop of everything we just unpacked. When you strip away the imaginary audience, when the spotlight effect loses its grip, something remarkable happens to your decisions. The metrics for success simplify instantly. You stop buying the car to impress someone who isn't paying attention. You stop chasing the title that sounds impressive at dinner parties nobody actually remembers. You stop playing a game with no real scoreboard. And in that clarity, your resources, your time, your money, your energy start flowing toward things with genuine compound value. I call this the next move's framework. Not 30 decisions, not a sprawling to-do list, just 3. Every single week, identify the 3 highest leverage decisions available to you, the ones that will still matter in 5 years. Everything else is noise. Delegate it, delete it, defer it. There's an entrepreneur I think about who stopped doing what she called networking theater, attending events, making small talk, collecting business cards. She replaced those 20 hours a month with 20 hours of deep, uninterrupted work. Within 18 months, her revenue had tripled. Not because she found a new strategy, because she stopped performing and started building. The investor who stopped chasing visible wins, the assets people could see, the portfolio he could talk about at dinner, and started building invisible reserves, cash flow, options, time. Within 3 years, he had something far rarer than money, genuine freedom to move in any direction without permission from anyone. True wealth is what you don't see, and you can only build it once you stop building for a crowd that isn't watching. Let me tell you what's really standing between you and the life you want. It's not talent. You have enough. It's not information. You have more than you need. It's friction, the small invisible resistance that makes the right thing slightly harder than the wrong thing. The gym bag that's not packed, the sales call you keep meaning to make, the creative project that stays in a notes app. Friction is the silent killer of potential. And here's the thing about goals versus systems. A goal is a destination you decide. A system is the infrastructure that makes the destination inevitable. Goals require willpower. Systems remove the need for it. Now, here's the part that changes everything. I told you earlier that nobody is watching, but I lied slightly. A few people are watching, and they are the only people who actually matter. Your small circle, the people who've seen you at your lowest and chose to stay. They're not tracking your LinkedIn, they're not counting your net worth. They're watching how you show up when things are hard, how you treat the people who can do nothing for you, who you are when the doors are closed. Drop the illusion of the crowd. Redirect every single kilojoule of wasted energy, the energy you've been spending on managing a reputation for people who aren't paying attention, and give it to 2 things: building systems that protect your time and focus, and showing up fiercely for the small circle that actually sees you. Take 15 minutes this week. Audit your calendar. Where is your energy going to an imaginary audience? What are you doing purely for optics? Name it, and then reclaim that time. That is where your leverage lives. So let me ask you the most important question of this entire episode. If nobody was watching, how would you live? Not hypothetically, not as a thought experiment. as your actual life starting Monday? Would you still do the work you're doing? Would you still chase the thing you've been chasing? Would you still say yes to the things you say yes to and no to the things you're too afraid to refuse? The truth that Jimmy Carr cracked open, the truth that Morgan Housel has built an entire philosophy around, is this: the audience was always an illusion. The freedom was always yours. You were just too busy performing to notice it was there. The cost of waiting another decade to realize this is not abstract. It is mornings. It is decisions. It is the version of yourself that was possible and never became real. You don't have to wait for your 40s. You can decide right now that the imaginary audience has been dismissed, that the invisible hour is non-negotiable, that the 3 decisions this week will be the right ones, not the visible ones, that the small circle gets the real version of you, the one that isn't performing. The liberation was always available. It just required this one uncomfortable truth: nobody was ever watching. Now go build something worth seeing.